Format is a very powerful function in DAX that lets you convert any value into a string using a lot of different options for the format string. Indeed, format accepts two arguments. The first one is the value that you want to convert into a string, and the second is the format string. Most of the power of format comes from the different options you have available in the format string. We are not going to cover all the details of the format strings because otherwise the video will be definitely too long. But we will look at the most commonly used format strings. Let's get started by looking at some demos. First of all, a set of examples. Here I'm evaluating different rows, percent, currency, and date, and I'm using the format function to convert numbers and dates using different format strings. You see that regardless of the value that you pass, format provides a nice formatting. 0.742 formatted using the percent standard becomes 74.20%. Or you can use currencies and you can format dates using year, month, date, or month, date, year, depending on your regional settings. With that said, these are just common usages. We need to look at the different options that are available for the format string. Let's start by looking at how to format numbers. When it comes to formatting numbers, you have a set of predefined format strings, predefined commands that you can use. These appear as names, so general number, currency, fixed. These are all strings that represent an automatic formatting. General number just provides the number with the decimal separator. Currency adds the local currency setting to the string resulted. Fixed returns just a fixed value. Standard returns the same value, but it uses also the thousand separator. Percent scientific, percent and scientific still provide a percentage or the scientific with the mantissa. Then you can also use format to format Boolean values, and you have three different options when it comes to predefined format string, which are true, false, on or off, and yes and no. You see that the result is always a string, which is either true or false, depending on the value you pass. One important detail is that regardless of the format string you use, whenever you pass a blank to format, that results in a blank. So whatever format string you provide, if the first argument is a blank, the result will always be a blank, no matter what. You can also create your own formatting strings for numbers. And if you decide to create your own formatting strings, you have three different options. You can provide one section, two sections, or three different sections. If you only provide one section, that section is used for positive numbers and negative numbers have a minus before them. 0 is represented as a 0. You can see that positive numbers are regular numbers, negative numbers have a minus sign in front, and 0 is just represented as a 0. Blank, not surprisingly, shows a blank. Remember that blank always results in a blank. You can also specify the second section of the format string. In this case, I used the same value of the number enclosed in parentheses. And the result is that now you see that negative numbers do not have the minus sign before. Instead, the negative value is shown in parentheses. If you use the third section, that section is used to represent a 0. So if I add the third section to the format string using just a minus sign, it shows positive numbers, negative numbers enclosed in parentheses, and 0 is represented with a minus sign. There is no way to format blanks, so format makes a difference between 0 and blank when it comes to producing its result. You can also use format to format dates. And as it was happening with numbers, you have a set of predefined format strings for dates. You have general date, long, medium, and short date, and then long, medium, and short time. They all produce different results. The general date shows the date and the time with AM PM using the local settings. The long date shows a long string representation. Medium date uses the short name for the month, and short date only uses numbers. Similarly, with long time, medium time, and short time, the string becomes shorter and shorter using different representation. As it happened with numbers, you can also create custom format strings also for dates. You can use D for day, M for month, and Y for year. And by composing your format string the way you want, you can create different strings for the same data. One important note is about minutes because the M, which is the initial for minutes, is actually used for the month. The standard for minutes is the end of November. Nevertheless, in order to make format strings easier to author, works if it is prefixed with HH. So HH colon works even though you should use N for minutes. And then you also have the C format string, and that C depends on the value you pass. C can format the date and time, and it uses the most compact format depending on the value it receives. You see that C full, when you pass DT, which is contains date and time, represents both the date and the time. But if you pass to the format string C only D, where D is just a date, the result is only the date. And if you pass to it a value that contains only the time part, then the result is only the time part. So you can use C in order to have the most compact representation for a date time, where the format function takes care of handling date and time. We were speaking about the M format, which stands for month. M can have a lot of different meaning depending on how many M you put one beside the other. One single M represents the month with 1 or 2 digits. If you use you will always have 2 digits, so 1 becomes 01, so that it always uses the same space. 3M goes for the short month name, and 4M goes for the long month name. In a similar way, the D string can have a lot of different meanings, again, depending on how many D you put one beside the other. D can be just the number of the day with 1 digit, with 2 digits, but starting with 3D, it becomes the day of the week and can be the short format or the long format. If you use 4D, then it becomes a short date, and if you use 5D, it becomes a long date. So as you have seen, there are a lot of different format strings. We have seen the most commonly used ones, and if you need more information, you can go to the webpage, and there you will find the list of all the different format strings.